Sziasztok! El sem tudom mondani, hogy mennyire izgulok, ugyanis egy nagyon érdekes interjút fogok most készíteni egy igazi ausztrál szörfössel, akinek ráadásul, ha jól tudom, az apukája az egy nagyon híres szörfös, könyveket is írt, úgyhogy rettenetesen izgulok, tartsatok velem, nagyon jó lesz. Nagy izgalmamban elfelejtettem elárulni, hogy a beszélgető partnerem Naomi Young lesz, akivel a szörfözés minden csinyát-binnyát kibeszéltük. Na jó, leginkább ő beszélt. So you are coming from a surfing family?
Yes, very big surfing family. Lots of world champions.
Oh wow! Could
Yeah.
you please just tell me more about that one?
So my dad was a multiple times world champion.
Wow.
In 1966 in San Diego, he won his first world title.
Oh my
and
God.
he has won many titles after that as well. So he's in his 70s now, but he still surfs every day. Spoke to him today, and he's great. But he was a pioneer of surfing. He's the one that started the shortboard revolution. And
Okay.
yeah, he made the shorter boards. So they used to ride long boards, and now we ride the smaller boards with the pointy nose.
What's
so Dad
the difference?
So
between-
there's a big difference. So there's two different styles now, but they all came from that older style of the longboard.
Okay. And is it easier to surfing with a shorter one, or?
It's harder to surf with the shorter one.
Oh, okay. And when did you start surfing?
I started when I was young, so probably on the front of my dad's boards and sort of in and around the surf and the surf culture, obviously, because Dad was a world champion, a very famous surfer. But I really started to get into it when I became a teenager. So
Okay.
probably more like 13. I think for my 13th birthday, I was like, Dad, I want a shortboard. And I started competitively surfing and learning from then.
Yeah. Okay. And if I know well, you have a surfing school now?
Yes, I do, at Freshwater Beach. I taught someone today, so I'm a surf coach, but I've been doing that. I started doing that when I was like 18 because I had no money, and I was
Okay.
living in California, and I thought, how can I earn money? And so I started surf coaching. So I'm 50 on Monday, so I've been surf coaching for a long time.
Oh my God.
A really long time.
That's
So
that's
yeah,
really
I love
impressive.
helping people. I love imparting my knowledge and teaching people a craft, because it is like a craft. It's a beautiful art form. Surfing's more than just surfing. It's actually an
Yeah.
art, because you're drawing on the wave. It's like ballet. It's like dancing. Yeah. So that man has a shortboard. So you see the different types of boards,
Yeah.
but there's lots of variations. So the surf's really good today. It's been really good. There's a huge big swell, so we've got like a nor'east
there are
swell
many
running
people.
today. It's very, very busy. I was born in Byron Bay in
Okay.
1971. I lived in America in the 80s, late 80s, and I lived in France as well. So I've lived in Europe and I've lived in America. I lived in
Okay.
Hawaii. I was there surfing and working as a nanny for a professional surfer in the 80s, and I also lived in Biarritz, the south of France as well.
Oh wow.
So I
And
speak
do you speak
French.
French?
Yeah.
And what is the best age to start?
Younger the better. 5, 6.
Oh, okay.
But you can learn it at any age, but it's harder to learn it at any later. It's harder to learn. I would think learning to surf when you're younger is better.
And what kind of stamina this
Very
person?
fit. You have to be fit.
What,
You have to have strong arms, Renata. Strong arms.
Yeah, I don't have strong arms,
Yeah, you
as you
need
can
to-
see. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, so you need to be fit in your upper body.
Okay.
I say to do the push-ups. You know the push-ups
Yeah.
that you do at the gym. So push-ups, any sort of cardio. Definitely push-ups.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And because you're paddling in the water, so it's quite strenuous.
And how many hours do you surf per a day?
Oh, okay, a day. Depends how long I go out for. In winter it's quite cold, so I would probably only surf for like an hour.
With the
Today
swimsuit
I
as
did
well?
no
With the
wetsuits.
wetsuits.
Yeah. So I'm starting to make wetsuits. That's my new career because I've been a flight attendant my whole life, and now I'm starting to make wetsuits for women.
Ah, okay. What about waxing?
Yeah, what about wax? So the thing is, when the board comes, it's all shiny and it's like glass because they actually glass it with a resin, so it is actually glass. And what you need to do is make it rough and sticky.
Okay.
So we buy something called wax. So it has to go on the top deck. So underneath you've got the 3 fins and they drive you through the water.
Okay.
And on the top you need to put wax to make you stick. It's like putting you know, chewing gum on the bottom of your board to make you stick, because you've got to stay on the top side of the board to ride the waves. So we need wax on the top. So yeah,
just to the top. So
just to the top side.
Okay, so you don't need to put on the whole board or something
just
like
on the
that.
top, just where your feet are going to attach to the board. You normally would wax the whole of a longboard because you walk up and down it. But with the short boards, you only need to wax where your feet go because you don't walk the board. But on the long boards, you're walking around the board.
And do you remove it or always just put an extra
Normally
layer?
just put an extra layer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, you can remove it. Normally when someone's selling a board, they'll take it all off to make it look shiny and new again.
Okay.
But if you want to surf, every time you go for a surf, you should put on a fresh coat of wax because it makes it more fresh and sticky, because old wax can become slippery.
What does the good wave look like?
Okay, perfect. So the good wave comes up, it's like an A-frame, so it'll fold in the middle and had a left and a right break off it.
Okay.
So this is breaking really well. So this one here, if it's closing out, it's no good. So the good waves will be a peak and then you'll have a taper, a triangle on each side. The surfer wants to get into the green area of the wave where they can start doing their turns. So like we're always aiming to get into the green. The whitewash is not good. Learners want the whitewash. When you're learning to surf, you want the white waves. But when you're getting into the proper aggressive surfing, you're on the green section. So that's called a left running down there, and he's taking off. Mm-hmm. So he's going to go towards the green area. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Every person's trying to get into the green area. Every single person, because that's the goal of surfing, because that's where we can do, it's like a blank canvas for us. That's where we can do our tricks and turns. We don't want to wipe out in the whitewash. That's no good. Now you kind of need an offshore wind and them to be quite big and stand up and then fold, and then you can go.
Okay. How expensive is this board?
The board, it depends if you want good quality or bad quality. You're always going to pay for good quality. So my brother's surfboards, Young surfboards, I think they're good, hand-shaped, really good quality, up to $1,000. For a cheap foam board, you could probably get it second-hand for $100. It varies from if you buy it like on eBay for 20 bucks, or if you go into the surf shop, which we're going towards now, and they have millions of surfboards second-hand, new and old. So it's how much you want to spend. It can be free and cheap. Someone can give you a surfboard and it's free. It just depends what you want to do. You don't have to pay to go to the beach. You just have to pay for your own equipment. So a wetsuit can cost you anywhere between $50 to $500 to $800.
Okay.
And a surfboard is, if you want a good one, it's probably about up to over $1,000 for a good longboard, and shortboards probably $800. But we can look at the prices at DrippingWet now because that's like the best surf shop around.
But you have to just purchase this board once, isn't it? Or
it can, but it can get dinged and repairs, and there's different boards for different waves. So when it's small, I take out a longboard, and when it's big, I take out, like today, I take out a shortboard.
And how do you feel yourself when you are surfing?
Calm, relaxed, euphoric. I feel at home. I love it. It's like a special place. It's very spiritual. I feel like I'm in a church. It's so relaxed. It's very uplifting, very spiritual and happy. It just makes me happy. It makes me smile. I've done it my whole life. And it's something in the environment. I love being in nature. So you're actually submersed in the water, you're in nature. So I think that's really important for us as humans to get in that. Salt water is really good for you as well. So I'm 50, I've had no plastic surgery and no Botox. I don't even know what any of that is.
Wow.
And I feel okay, like I don't have a lot of wrinkles.
No, you are so beautiful.
So it's just a big longboard. These are longboards at the bottom. These are all longboards to here. Yeah, no, they're all mid-range longboards. They're all longboards. But this one is foam. They're all foam actually.
Yes.
They're all for learning.
Okay.
This one's, yeah. Hardboards. 3 fins, 1 fin. So normally the setup's 3 fins, but you can ride the big ones that are long.
And what is that one?
The leg rope that attaches you to the board. She goes, can you go for a walk and tell me what a long like talk about surfing? And I'm like,
Totally unisex pretty much today, isn't it, Naomi? There's
yes.
Lots of girls surfing.
Yep.
In Queensland, the girls almost outnumber the boys.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yep.
How often do pros purchase a board?
Pros generally go direct to the manufacturer and they've got some
okay.
contracts. But the general population will come into a shop.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful Australian-made Donald Takiyamas from North Coast Longboards at Byron Bay. That kind of board's going to retail for $2,500. That's one of the more expensive boards in the shop. They're some of the more expensive ones. Then you've got your Takayama Scorpion eggs. So a fuller nose up front with a pulled in tail, like a squashed down mal. These are also pretty expensive, almost $2,000. Mark Richards, he's kind of famous for the twin fins. That's one of his latest arrivals, the Scalded Cat.
What's the difference that the end of this board is? It's just a
Swallowtail.
design, or
The tail gets put in a wide. The swallowtail gets put in a wider tail shape. Gives the board a little bit more bite, a little bit more hold on a wider tail.
okay.
And then you come into your retro pro classic retro twin fin from Mark Richards. He's famous from the 80s, 3 times world champ. There he is up there, Mark, surfing. He was one of the first guys to win multiple world titles and then come into some of the newer release high performance shortboards. This is the one that won the Stab in the Dark contest. It's called the Inferno 72. Shape designed by a guy called Marcio Zuvi. And he's from San Diego, California way. And they're made up in the Tweed Coast at the Glass Lab. So that's some of the more high performance boards. Come in the 77. Philippe Toledo's pretty much put that one on the map, but a few of the other team riders are riding that one as well. And then you've got more Sharp Eyes, DHD, Mick Fanning's board, Kanoe Garashi's board.
Have you ever seen a shark?
Yes, I have, in Fiji, and I was surfing. Yeah, I was surfing with friends out at Sigatoka River mouth, and it was a big shark, and there was only 3 of us in the water. And it was right there, yeah. So we all were told to paddle in, but it was very scary. It was a scary feeling. Yes, I have seen a shark.
But not
Yeah.
in Australia. So.
No, but I've seen lots of dolphins. I surfed with dolphins last Saturday up at Palm Beach, and big pod. I was right in the middle of it, right on sunset, and they were everywhere, and they had a little baby. I was right, I could touch. I've touched the dolphins out on the surf before.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how
So-
far had you had to go into the waters?
Not
to...
very far, they come in quite close. So it's just out a bit and they were just all around. Yeah. So there's always, there's always sea life because you're in their backyard. So there's always going to be sea life there.
And what about whales? Or
Yes.
whales are a little bit
I've
further?
seen a lot of them up at Byron Bay and around, but they're generally out a lot deeper. They do come in close, but I haven't surfed with a whale, no. But surfed with dolphins so many times. Stingrays, I've seen heaps of stingrays. Lots of blue bottles, lots of sea life all the time. Lots.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a really good lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful lifestyle. It's so good for you surfing. It just gets your spirit going and it's so nice. Love it.
And how many times do you go back and try to catch a wave?
Well, if you surf for an hour, you go in and out as many waves as you catch. You try to catch the wave for as long as you can. So you get it from out the back. The further out you go, the more chance you have of getting a long wave.
Okay.
Yeah.
But approximately how many times? 20 times within
At
an
least
hour?
20 times in an hour. If you're
Wow.
getting a lot of waves. But sometimes I've been for a surf where the surf is not very big and you get no waves, but you're still out there on your board, but there's no waves to catch.
And what do you feel when you are just on your board and there aren't too many waves? And you are
It's
just
still
waiting?
beautiful. It's such a blessing being able to go out in the water no matter what. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just so beautiful. Look at the ocean right now. It's just stunning. So, yeah, it's just beautiful. So I don't mind if I get waves or not. I always go out within my heart now because I'm 50. I'm like, even if I just get one, I want one good wave. So I'm always like focused on getting one that's really nice.
And how long does it take somebody to stand on a board?
Stand on a board, if you go with me, not very long at all. Depends on your fitness, your agility, your ability, the conditions of the waves at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to start small. Start on the small waves and you build up to getting the big waves. You don't want to go in big waves and get scared or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. So yeah, starting small.
How old was your oldest student?
I've had 60s, 70s, older people.
Beginners?
Not quite beginners, but they may have surfed earlier, like in their younger years, and then gone back to surfing,
Okay.
you know, later. Yeah, it's a good, fit, healthy sport. Good way to meet people. There's lots of surfing groups and lots of women surfing now, so there's even more chance to meet different people. I just think it's fantastic.
But these surfers are speaking each other or?
Yep, not generally, unless you're a chatty person. It's like walking, these people are walking now, no one's talking to each other because they're doing their activity. But I normally go surfing with a friend, like with my best friend Sue, like we go for a surf and we talk the whole time.
Okay.
It depends who you go with. Like my son wouldn't really want to chat in the surf too much, but my friends all chat to me out in the surf. That my dad made. This is actually the rules on how to surf. So it shows you the right of way, who's responsible, how to take off, and they should be at every beach. So Dad had this made up, and they're actually really good guidelines for anyone who's learning to surf. Tells you how not to let go of your board because you can injure other people, and they've got quite a few of them along Manly Beach. I think there's 3 around here.
How many books did he write?
Oh, many. History of Australian surfing, Nat's Nat and That's That, many books on how to surf. Yeah, so that's nice.
What about the waves really close to the rocks? Are
Yes.
they dangerous?
Yes, they are. A lot of surfers jump off them. I do jump off them. It's easier to get out at a point break if you jump off the rocks. So you see a lot of surfers going and jumping off the rocks. So that's a really good way to get out there super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got to be really careful. You'd have to be very experienced surfer to be jumping off the rocks. I'd say most of us just paddle out from the beach if it's a beach break.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you're
I
so
think
welcome.
that was a really good conversation, and I learned a lot about surfing, and maybe one time I will try it as well.
You should try it.
No one knows who will be chosen.